Imagine living a life free from the fear of poverty, where your heart is calm, your mind is clear, and you know with certainty that your provision is already guaranteed by the one who created you. For centuries, countless Muslims have turned to one powerful chapter of the Qur'an for exactly this kind of reassurance, Surah Al-Waqiah. This surah is not just about the events of the hereafter, it's a deep reminder of where our wealth truly comes from and how to attract Allah's blessings into every part of our lives. In this video, I'm going to share why I 100% believe Surah Al-Waqiah can increase your wealth once you truly understand it. We'll uncover its timeless lessons, the Prophet's Salallahu Alayhi Wasalam advice, and how you can practically apply it to transform both your mindset and your financial reality. 1. Introduction to Surah Al-Waqiah. Surah Al-Waqiah, the 56th chapter of the Qur'an, is a powerful reminder of the reality of the hereafter. The name Al-Waqiah means the event, referring to the inevitable day of judgment that no soul can escape. The surah vividly describes the scenes of that day, separating humanity into three distinct groups: the foremost in faith, the people of the right hand, and the people of the left hand. While its primary theme is the certainty of the resurrection, Surah Al-Waqiah also weaves in lessons about the true source of sustenance. It reminds us that everything we enjoy, from the crops we grow, the water we drink, to the very life we live, comes entirely from Allah's power and mercy. It strips away the illusion that wealth or provision is purely the result of human effort, instead pointing to the ultimate truth. Allah alone controls rizq. This perspective shifts the believer's relationship with wealth. It moves the heart away from greed and anxiety toward gratitude and trust. By acknowledging Allah's role as the provider, a Muslim can work hard without becoming enslaved to the pursuit of material gain. Surah Al-Waqiah makes it clear that the same Allah who brings the dead back to life can also open the doors of provision in ways beyond human comprehension. For those who seek financial stability or fear poverty, understanding this surah offers a source of peace. It anchors wealth within the framework of faith, reminding us that both abundance and scarcity are part of Allah's perfect plan. This understanding lays the foundation for why so many believers turn to Surah Al-Waqiah not only for spiritual growth, but also as a means of attracting barakah into their lives. 2. Hadith references. Among the traditions passed down through Islamic history are narrations that connect the recitation of Surah Al-Waqiah with protection from poverty. One well-known narration, reported from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Razi Allah Ta'ala Anhu, states that the Prophet, Salallahu Alayhi Wasalam, said, "Whoever recites Surah Al-Waqiah every night will never be afflicted by poverty." While scholars have discussed the varying degrees of authenticity for this narration, its message aligns with the Quranic principle that remembrance of Allah and following His guidance bring blessings and provision. The wisdom behind such encouragement is profound. The Qur'an is not merely for ceremonial recitation. It is a guide meant to transform one's mindset and actions. Reciting Surah Al-Waqiah with understanding reinforces a believer's trust in Allah as the ultimate provider. This inner conviction can influence outward behavior, increasing optimism, patience, and persistence in lawful means of earning. Some scholars point out that the nightly recitation serves as a consistent act of remembrance, dhikr, which strengthens one's spiritual connection with Allah. A heart regularly reminded of the hereafter is less likely to fall into greed or unethical business practices, both of which can block the flow of blessings. In this way, the surah becomes not just a supplication for wealth, but also a moral compass for how to handle it. It is also important to note that poverty in Islam is not seen as merely a lack of money, but a test that can be relieved through divine mercy. Reciting Surah Al-Waqiah with sincerity, while combining it with halal earnings, charity, and gratitude, aligns a believer with the conditions that invite Allah's provision. Thus, these hadith references are not a shortcut to instant wealth, but an invitation to a lifestyle rooted in faith, patience, and trust. 3. Wealth in Islam. In Islam, wealth, rizq, is a broad concept that extends far beyond money in the bank or material possessions. It encompasses everything that sustains and benefits a person: health, time, knowledge, family, peace of mind, and the unseen blessings of barakah. A person may have little in material terms, but still be considered truly wealthy if they possess contentment, security, and a heart rich with faith. The Qur'an and Sunnah teach that wealth is a trust, amana from Allah, not an end in itself. This means it must be acquired through lawful means and used in ways that please Him. Hoarding wealth or using it selfishly contradicts the Islamic view, whereas spending it in charity, helping others, and supporting one's family are acts of worship. In this sense, wealth is both a blessing and a test, as it reveals the values and priorities of its holder. A critical aspect of Islamic teaching is that wealth is predestined. Allah has already decreed each person's provision, though He commands believers to work and strive. The balance lies in putting in the effort while avoiding the anxiety of thinking we alone control the outcome. This balance is achieved through tawakkul, complete trust in Allah while taking the means He has provided. Furthermore, the presence of wealth is not automatically a sign of Allah's pleasure, nor is its absence a sign of His displeasure. What matters most is the attitude with which a person handles their circumstances. When wealth is used with gratitude, humility, and generosity, it becomes a source of elevation in both worlds. Surah Al-Waqiah reinforces this broader, richer definition of wealth, reminding believers to seek prosperity that is blessed, ethical, and spiritually fulfilling. 4. Lessons from Surah Al-Waqiah. Surah Al-Waqiah offers profound lessons that reshape how a believer views both life and provision. One of its central messages is that Allah alone holds the keys to sustenance. The surah asks reflective questions. Who causes the seeds you plant to grow? Who brings down the water you drink? Who created fire for your use? Each rhetorical question points back to Allah's absolute power and control over the resources we depend on. This awareness cultivates humility. It reminds us that no matter how skilled or hardworking we are, our efforts would be fruitless without Allah's will. It shifts the mindset from self-reliance to God-reliance, a perspective that removes arrogance and instills gratitude. The surah also underscores the temporary nature of worldly possessions. By vividly describing the Day of Judgment, it highlights that wealth, status, and worldly success will lose all value when life ends. This encourages believers to focus on deeds that endure beyond death, such as charity, sincerity, and helping others. Another key lesson is the call to lawful striving. Surah Al-Waqiah does not discourage effort. Rather, it affirms that taking the means is part of faith. However, it warns against chasing provision in ways that compromise ethics or harm others. True prosperity comes when effort is coupled with integrity and reliance on Allah. Finally, the surah inspires hope. By reminding believers of Allah's mercy and ability to change any circumstance, it reassures those facing hardship that their situation can transform instantly if Allah wills. This hope drives patience, perseverance, and a willingness to keep trying despite setbacks. In essence, Surah Al-Waqiah teaches that real security lies not in the amount of wealth we hold, but in the strength of our connection to the one who provides it. 5. Action steps for viewers. Understanding the message of Surah Al-Waqiah is only the beginning. The real benefit comes from putting its lessons into practice. One of the most effective steps is to make its recitation a regular habit. Many believers choose to recite it after Maghrib or Isha each night, reflecting on its meanings rather than reading it mechanically. Consistency builds both spiritual connection and mental focus on Allah as the ultimate source of provision. Alongside recitation, actively engage in dua for halal sustenance. Supplicating after prayer with sincerity, asking Allah to grant abundance with barakah, is a way of aligning your heart with His will. Combining this with lawful and ethical work ensures that the means you take are blessed and sustainable. Charity is another key action step. Giving even a small portion of what you have, especially in times of financial difficulty, is a powerful way to invite Allah's mercy and increase in provision. Islam teaches that wealth given in charity is never truly lost. Rather, it returns multiplied in unexpected ways. Maintaining gratitude is also vital. Keeping a daily habit of thanking Allah for both big and small blessings shifts focus from what is lacking to what is present, creating a mindset that attracts positivity and contentment. Finally, guard against actions that block blessings, such as dishonesty, oppression, or neglecting obligations. Surah Al-Waqiah's message is clear. Allah's provision is tied not just to effort, but to moral integrity. By combining daily reflection on this surah with prayer, ethical effort, charity, and gratitude, a believer positions themselves to experience not just financial growth, but holistic prosperity in both worlds. And that's the beauty of Surah Al-Waqiah. It's not just a chapter to be recited, but a guide to living with trust, gratitude, and hope in Allah's provision. If you apply its lessons, you'll find that wealth is more than numbers. It's peace, contentment, and barakah in every area of life. If this video inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to Merciful Deen so we can spread these beautiful reminders together. Comment below this prayer. May Allah bless us all with halal, abundant, and blessed rizq. Let's fill the comments with du'as for each other's success.